Inside here is my winter palace tarp, and what's around it is called a snake skin, or if you don't like snakes, you can call it a tarp sleeve. And what I'm going to show today is how to make one of these out of a kit that you can get from DutchWearGear.com. I would say it's pretty much one of the simplest things you can do. Actually, this whole setup, this tarp and this sleeve would take you maybe 3 or 4 days to do the whole thing. But what a tarp skin does is it encloses your tarp really easily. It makes it really easy to deploy. And then when it's time to go, just do it the other way. And it makes it really easy to put away. Or say you don't need your tarp during the day, you can just slip it up like this, and then when it's time to go to bed, you can take it out. But this way you can get your hammock all set up and your underquilts and all that kind of stuff all set up, and then deploy your tarp. But if it's really rainy, this makes a real fast way of setting up your tarp. The one that this kit is made out of bug net, and it can also be made out of just a steel nylon too, if you want. The bug net allows any water to drain out. I like the bug net one myself because I can stick it in the outside of my pack, and then it can continue to drain if there's any water on it, and just put everything in the outside. You can do this out of, say, steel nylon or steel poly, and what that does is it encloses all that moisture. So if you're going to put your tarp inside your backpack, that way you can keep the inside of your backpack from getting as wet as would normally get wet. So there's 2 ways of thinking about it. I like the bug net myself. But I can see the benefit to each. So let's get to showing you how to make this, and it's going to be fun. Okay, so we measured the ridge line of my tarp, and that's 12 feet, or a little under 12 feet. And they supply, so the Dutchwear kit supplied with 16 feet. So you can really get a lot out of this. I'm going to do a 1-piece instead of a 2-piece, and I want to have a pocket on one end so I can stuff all the extra lines that end up, you'll see at the end, there's going to be a bunch of lines coming out one end. On the other end, I'm just going to have the one line. And I don't need to have that in a pocket because I can use that to wrap up the whole thing and put it in like the back of my backpack or whatever. So this is 0.67 nano bug netting. And the first thing I want to do, because this, even though it's somewhat strong, you're going to be sewing right on the edge. So I'm going to go ahead and put just a 1-turn hem on each of the long sides. That's the first thing I'm going to do. The other thing is just watch the stuff stretches and moves and it kind of has like a mind of its own. So you don't want to stretch it because you're going to get all kinds of wonkiness in it. It has, it can go all different kinds of directions. So try and stretch as little as possible, kind of let the machine ride it through. And don't go anything crazy on it because it'll mess it all up. Now we're going to be doing some work on the ends as well. So I don't need to start it all the way to the end. But I can back it up a little bit. And now I'm going to go forward. I have my sewing machine set at 8 stitches per inch, which is what I normally do for like my nylon, still, my tarps and all that kind of stuff. But this is a lot more like regular sewing. So, but I'm going to do kind of a loose stitch, and then when I come back, I'm going to actually set it down to what a regular stitch would be on my machine, because we definitely can have that many stitches. Now we're going to make the pocket, or the edge of the pocket, and they've supplied some nice, like 1-inch grosgrain lightweight webbing, and we're going to put that, we're going to make this edge here a little nicer, and so you can be stuffing that material in and out. So this is like the one time where I'd say pinning it or using little clamps is probably a good idea, and because this, or you could iron this down, that might be helpful, or you could sew one side on and then sew the other side on. I'm going to
use probably a combination of clips and pins, and we'll get this on one of the ends. Okay, got everything pinned. And we'll just go right along that edge. Or I'm off maybe 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so now we've got that edge on there. I'm gonna clean that up a little bit. Now we're gonna fold this back and make what will eventually be the pocket. We just kind of got to decide, what we want, like a foot. It actually looks pretty good. You stuff all your lines and stuff in there. You can go more if you want. Now we're going to take that webbing. We're going to do the same thing, and we're going to put it right across there. And this will eventually be the outside or the leading edge of the tube that you pull over your tarp. So we just need to kind of put it on there, just kind of decide how much you want to be able to stuff things in. So that's basically a foot. So let's go with a foot, and then if that doesn't turn out to be a good amount, I'll tell you at the end. But I'm going to put some of this webbing now. We're going to do the same thing. So I'll pin that down over this fold. Okay, I went ahead and lengthened my pocket to 18 inches, so 1.5 feet. So now all we have to do with the pocket side on the inside, now we're going to go ahead and sew basically the two hems and your pocket edge and everything together right down the edge, and that will give us our complete sleeve. Right, so now I've just got a big long tube, and all I need to do now is turn it inside out. I'm gonna do a little trim work, and then it's like a big sock. We'll just turn it inside out, and then we can go try it out on the tarp. There we go. All right, now that we got it all on over here, now we just need to slide it over the tarp and all the lines. Beautiful. We'll go all the way to the end of where the tarp goes all the way in. We can deal with the lines later. It's not a whole ton of lines. Might just be able to stuff them in there. Maybe it wasn't necessary to put that on there. So yeah, so if I just bunch that up, so the 16 feet is gonna work out perfect. Perfect. So I'll put another hem right there, and then I tie that really tight with just an elastic, just like bungee cord. So this is the other end. If I was concerned about having some of this kind of chafe guard on this end, I would go ahead and rip this seam out and do it just like I did the other ones. But I'm really not that concerned. This end should really never be moved or whatever. And I'm just going to tuck it a couple and just sew around and put a little hem around it. It's not as easy doing it at this point in time, but you just kind of work your way around and you'll make it. There we go. Drop my needle in just for help. Now the way I like to just do my end is this is a fixed end. It's not gonna go anywhere. So I like to use just a bit of bungee cord. I'm sure there's lots of ways to do this, but I like to have a little bit of bungee cord with me. So you don't have to do a lot. That's all it takes. You don't have to tie a double knot or anything. That holds on to it. Plus now I've got a little bit of extra bungee cord. So now it's just simple enough to kind of grab it.
you got your tarp, and then you just grab this end. Go ahead and tuck this in a little bit. I suppose really you could just tuck all that in there. I don't know if this pocket's really that big a deal. And just kind of fold it up. Just gonna wrap my suspension line. Just take my tarp, stick it in the back, so this way, if it's wet, it can still breathe and drain or whatever. There it is. So if it's in a rainstorm, I just pop that out, stick it on up. Okay, that's an easy project. I'm not sure that that pocket's that big a deal, so if you don't want to do the pocket, I wouldn't worry about it, but that's an easy one. Okay, let's take it on the trail.